want to get your feedback on this because it's kind of an open-ended thing, but I've seen a lot of things to where people are predicting that Google is going to crack, the ban hammer, so to speak, in some way, shape, or form. Now, whether they do it, in a big public fashion, like, hey, we don't do this, we don't accept this type of content, but my prediction is they're going to do something, whether they make it public or not. We've talked about in the last video that we have something, or that they have something in the works where it's like they're going to put some type of like watermark that's not visible or it's detectable. I've also seen some articles where they say it is somewhat detectable already, so that could be obviously a thing, and God knows how many sites are already using it, right? Maybe the earlier ones get away with it, maybe the ones that later, they start tracking from a date forward. But I wanted to pull up this article. It was one from MSN where they said that Google's management has reportedly issued a code red amid the rising popularity of the ChatGPT AI. So this is actually a quote from MSN taken from the New York Times. So a couple of little sources all getting looped in together here. So Google's Research, Trust, and Safety Division, among other departments, have been directed to switch gears to assist in the development and launch of new AI prototypes and products. Some employees have even been tasked to build AI products that generate art and graphics similar to OpenAI's DALL-E, used by millions of people, according to the New York Times. So I don't know if a lot of people have a lot of Google history, but I think if they create something, when they did it with Gmail, when they acquired YouTube, when they did it with Calendar, any of their own products, right? They always want to put those at the top. So do you think that they're going to modify their algorithm to, move ChatGPT and OpenAI down and put their own stuff higher? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I have a feeling that it's going to happen, like with a flamethrower.
All gone at once?
Right. I mean, a lot has changed since the week. I mean, it's been a week since we, discussed,
last video, yeah.
Microsoft came up with 10 billion invested in them. As they get closer and closer to, Google's magic line in the sand, I think they're going to make it public, just like I said, just like a flamethrower.
Well, I think it's really interesting that you brought up Microsoft too, because it's no secret they're a competitor to Google.
Absolutely.
Right? And they've fallen drastically behind in the search space. I mean, there's an old meme I saw. It's like the only reason people use like MSN's browser is to download Chrome.
Right.
It's so you get the computer and you're like, get this off of here, to put Chrome. And you think all the ones that there was Opera for a while. Who uses Opera now? Right? Firefox. I mean, you might have some outliers, but it's like you have Google and that's pretty much it. And like maybe your older demographic that doesn't know that there's a different browser, but even that's going to be slim, right? So I really look at that as like a way that they can get, if they're investing that heavily. I mean, $10 billion is not a drop in the bucket, right? No. Especially in something that new, with that crazy amount of rapid rise in users. That's going to be a big change. And I don't think it's going to happen immediately. Like, it's not going to be like a 2023, this is the era of Microsoft now, right? But I think it's going to start in 2023, and you start to see little inklings like, hey, maybe we should invest more in some Bing things, right? Slowly coming back, but not going to take it over that quickly. But I do expect to see some type of push down of the ease of access to OpenAI if they can get away with it, right? Sure. There might be some way that they could come back and maybe get them in trouble legally for doing that, but ultimately it's their platform. I mean, a lot of the stuff on Google isn't public, despite some things that are, but they're not going to openly put out there, yeah, we discredited this because of whatever, and if they do, I think you're going to see a hell of a pushback on that for sure.
Yeah, that's muddy waters for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
above my pay grade.
Right,
Once you get to that level. Yeah.
Google's beaten out. I mean, Microsoft Office used to be the only thing people used, and Google's already beaten them out.
Google Docs, yeah.
With spreadsheets and PowerPoints and stuff too. It's already.
I mean, Microsoft Teams is quite commonly used. It's more expensive, but it is used by like a lot of our clients and a lot of schools, universities. That kind of thing.
Even my kids now, they're getting like the Google suite, like they're trained on that.
Yeah.
It used to be like you had said, like Microsoft was kind of the default, and it's crazy how far they've come to where like their Chromebooks, right? Like Windows used to be the thing. Now it's Chrome OS, right? It's really just crazy how far they've come. So without getting too muddy in the waters, Maya, did you have a point that you wanted to finish on that?
Yeah, on the whole Google, trying to push, detract from ChatGPT or whatever we want to call it. I don't think that they're going to, kind of try to prevent people from using it. I think that's, it is their own platform, like you said. But it seems like they obviously see it as a threat and they're wanting to compete. And so they're,
no question.
They're taking action now. And of course, with the resources at their disposal, they're going to do it really aggressively. And, they're going to come up with ways to, like you said, promote their own, they're so integrated in every direction, so anything they add on, if they, see something that can be successful, I think they can compete very easily with something like that. I don't think they're going to, keep people from being able to find and use ChatGPT, but I think, Google will come out with their own tools that will have their own benefits to people.
So you're thinking that they're going to compete by creating something similar or better versus discrediting or deranking or decreasing the visibility of OpenAI and ChatGPT?
That's kind of what I'm thinking, yes. And I think also, like,
Do you think they have the time to do that, though? Because, I mean, that's a big deal to create something that...
Yeah,
Yes,
I
I'm
mean,
sure they probably have some, because Google had its own, AI that...
right.
And likely has multiple forms of it.
Absolutely, yes. They have multiple, like, language model, which is what the chatbot things are, and they're always working on those things, and a lot of things behind the scenes that obviously we, as non-Google employees, know nothing about.
We're going to have to sneak somebody in there, get the goods.
Like the internship.
Yeah, right?
But yeah, but we're also thinking a lot, I think, about this in terms of using it for like SEO and search and that kind of thing. Chatbots are already used so much for chat features, on like e-commerce stores and other sites like that. So in that sense, I think Google, already is working on technologies like that can be used for uses that are in alignment with, what they state is their mission and how they assess everything that's out there, I guess.
I'm over here smiling because, like, you gave me a thought. You remember back in the day, like when you used to call a place and you talked to a real person, it was like really efficient and you got like right to where you want to go. And now, everybody's like, oh, well, you're always going to be able to talk to a person. Now it's almost all automated, right? You were talking about like chatbots. What about all those live agent chats on websites? Do you think think about that for real? Because
that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, I would say that, again, not in 2023 because it's taken a little bit of time to roll that out, but once more people tie into that stuff, I mean, all that's going to go away. I mean, you won't see the live agent available. You might think it's a live agent, but it's probably a bot. But I bet you that's going to start taking over too, because I can't remember what site it was on, and I wish I could for the sake of the example, but I was on a website that was using like an AI chat, and it was pretty clean. I mean, it was, the responses were quick, it was accurate, and it just fired me right through to where I wanted to go and said, was this helpful? I was like, yeah, that was really great. So if it can do that, I was asking some pretty complex stuff, just trying to test it. And this was not ChatGPT, to my best of my knowledge, but it was a virtual agent, and it was great. I mean, I had no issues with it.
Yeah, I'm familiar with
2023, the death of the live agent.
Right, but then they'll be the ones that are training the chatbots or something like that.
Yeah, if they're not already.
Right. But yeah, I'm aware of multiple like startups in the space of chatbots for e-commerce or web, and they have some good case studies and results that these chatbots are able to like suggest products based on the user's behavior or signals or whatever, and like the return rate of customers and the amount that they purchase and all of those metrics have seemed to go up with this chatbot. So if you can save money on having those live agents, and
I'm sure the API key is a lot cheaper than paying somebody to sit there and
salaries.
chat. And I mean, it sucks that you'd be taking away somebody's job, but I mean, there's always another I would think, position in sales for someone like that, you know, that isn't quite automated yet. I mean, you know, we're not quite to the point of bowing to our electronic overlords yet, but
And
it may get there.
there's still you know, places and things where human interaction is necessary, you know, like in medical, having that bedside manner or someone to talk to or support. Although there's even like apps for mental health, you know, therapy and things like that too. So it is more and more becoming automated, I think. But I think there's that for a long time, especially not within 2023, we're gonna still have spaces for people to be in customer service positions and you know, positions of helping people and connecting with people
Until the
and
Tesla
that
bot
kind of
gets
thing.
done. Yeah.
Yeah.